Fialik.
This is Just Janet.
And this is K. Colley.
And this is
the Just Nuggets Podcast.
Welcome back to the Just Nuggets Podcast, or should I say the 7-2 Denver Nuggets Just Nuggets Podcast. How's everybody doing today?
We're doing good. How you doing, Dot?
I'm doing well. I mean, how can I not be happy? We talked about this. We saw that this could be a good year for the Nuggets and off to a 7-2 start. Christoph, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. It's all good in Nuggets Nation at this point in time. I think it will probably remain good. I will knock on wood, but just like the Nuggets, I'm good.
Okay, and just to recap, this is Sunday, November 9th. Last night the Nuggets played the Pacers on the fourth. That was the fourth game in a row at home?
Yeah.
So they went on a 4-game winning streak at home.
Correct.
They beat the Pacers 117-100. Some of the key performances last night, you had Nikola Jokic with 32, 14 for a triple-double number. What is that of the year?
Number
6 or 7? Yeah.
Hey.
So yeah, we had a great night from Nikola. Another great night from I'll just say it because every night it's just been a pleasure to watch this guy play basketball with the Denver Nuggets. Mm-hmm. But Tim Hardaway had 17, 4, and 3.
He's been balling.
He's been absolutely balling. So let's actually just talk about that. Maybe we'll go around the horn and just talk a little bit about the Denver Nuggets bench and the fuel that they've done to allow the Nuggets to be where they're at through 9 games.
Well, yeah, the conductor, of course, is Nikola. You said he had 6 triple-doubles in 9 games. Since we've been going, and it's just been amazing to watch. It's fun, amazing, all of it. His passes are crisper. He's starting to hit his 3. Early on, the first couple games he was missing, but now he's starting to hit them. And I think he's trying to figure out, like everything else, how hard he has to play early, how to get everybody involved and all that. But he's just that guy. And then we've seen our bench just light it up. And one of the key factors you just mentioned is Tim Hardaway. Him coming to the front of the line when it comes to the bench, and then he's been with the starters a lot.
Yep.
When we couldn't get anything going, and he's come and been that spark off the bench to the starters when we were in when the starters are out there playing, and he's just been a joy to watch, and I'm so amazed at his skill set. He's a veteran. He could hit a 3, plays defense. I mean, there's nothing really. What do you think, Christoph? There's nothing really bad to say about Tim Hardaway except
I think to
the Nuggets.
Exactly. And I think his role, we'll get into it about Cam, but I think his role was a lot easier to find. He's come off the bench and hit shots. When we talked the first episode and obviously preseason, he wasn't hitting his jumper, but a lot of people, maybe some, voices out there in Nuggets land were getting a little worried, but shooters shoot. He's gonna be games where he hits last night where what was he 7 of 9, or whatever. He had a good shooting night last night. Let me make sure I have the correct number.
Yeah.
Yes, he was 6 of 13, and 5 of 9 from 3. I knew it was something of 9. 5 of 9 from 3 when he has good shooting nights, but they are timely threes as well. So I think his role has been a lot easier to find on this team. Cam is still filling his way out a little bit more. I think that Jokic, when you look at why he's coming out here guns a-blazing, well, obviously the game was already easy to him. It was already slowed. He's already a master of his craft. So the triple-doubles already were coming easy. But I think, this sounds dumb to say, but I think they're coming even easier this season because it's just the ability for him to move the ball around. And he can hit the open shooters. He was doing no looks to the opposite corner last night. He played last night without AG, without Murray, which are his guys. Those if you think about it, we've been saying that he's got the best starting 5 in basketball for the last couple seasons. But if you think about it, 2 of those people were gone, MPJ and KCP, and then CB played last night, but he only played 1 season. But you don't have AG or Maul, and he had 5 fresh people out there effectively. It was still hooping because everyone's starting to play his brand of basketball.
And let me tell you, Christoph, I could prove this. Julian Strother off the bench last night, plus 20. Bruce Brown off the bench, plus 23. Tim Hardaway off the bench, plus 24. Valanciunas off the bench plus 13, and Spencer Jones, the one we got out of the G League at the end of the last year, and he's coming and they love him. He's playing really well defense and he's kind of
Yeah,
intuitive to the game. Plus 14. So when have we had a bench with five of the players having, plus
Pluses.
anything,
Yeah.
yeah.
let alone double
And
digit pluses?
plus double digits. And to that point, Spencer Jones came off and had some great blocks. He was
Great
playing
defense.
great
Yeah,
minutes early in the game too. Like
sure.
when it was
Yeah.
when it was like they won by 17, right? But it was like it was a close game up until about the end of the third.
Yeah, I mean, they went ahead 19 somewhere in there, and then it, came all the way back down to Scaryville, I'm gonna call it. And then they went back in their mode, and they just took off again and never looked back at that point. But yeah, I mean, everybody's an NBA getting paid player.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
they're the Eastern
capable of
Conference
runs,
champions. The
and
Eastern
they're
Conference
yeah, they
champions.
went to the conference
Yeah,
champions, went to
They're
the
NBA finals.
NBA finals.
yeah,
Yeah,
so that means they're well coached and they still have the bones. I know they're missing Halliburton, and they're
yeah.
also missing my boy. I'm forgetting his name.
Williams. I'm sorry, that's OKC. I'm so sorry. OKC's missing too.
They're
Everybody's
TJ
missing.
McConnell.
Oh,
No. I was saying Benedict Mathurin.
And they're
So
missing
oh,
McConnell. I mean, they're missing their
yeah,
backup
yeah.
point
So
guard
they were
too.
hurt too. So like, and Obi Toppin. So they were missing a good amount of players. So like, obviously the Nuggets needed to get away with just do away with them. And you could say the same thing about Friday night against Golden State. Like
yeah, same
you were
thing.
playing them without Steph. But I thought the difference between, and no shade to Golden State, the difference between Golden State and Indiana, what I saw last night is Nimhard and Naismith they in Siakam, they really kept them in it. They
They
were making
did.
shots.
Oh my
They went on
God.
a run. They were like, let's steal it. Let's steal this game, or
Yeah,
let's try to win this one. Whereas Golden State, I think when Steph was out, they were like, yeah, we're probably gonna lose this one. And it was they were at length the entire game. And
hmm
Nikola is kind of did it just he didn't really have to exert himself, but he did. If he
yeah,
could get to, that's what I'm saying is like now Nikola could play this game on easy mode because he gets to his spots. He can be super efficient around the rim. He doesn't have to take any threes like that because you could kick it out to CB. I'll let you guys talk about this guy. Peyton Watson, I know
oh, amazing.
I'll eat the crow through the first couple games of the season, almost 10 games of the season. Him offensively, you see the work he put in this summer.
Yeah, I said he was one of my X factors coming into the league. I mean, to this season. I think I mean, to talk about Peyton Watson since you brought him up, 16 points. And what I've seen a lot from Peyton Watson is the rebounding. Remember how we were
Yeah,
talking
we need
about
somebody
beginning
to
of the
rebound.
year, he
Yeah.
was going to kind of make up for all those Michael Porter rebounds. Peyton Watson now back-to-back games has had 7+ rebounds. He had
hmm
10 in the game before. That game he didn't score, but he contributed big on the defensive end and the rebounding
Right.
end. So there's things that the Nuggets are doing a lot of that's really making a big difference. Christoph, you mentioned it. We didn't have AG. We
Nope.
didn't have Jamal Murray. Those have
Yeah.
been our number two and our number three best scorers
Right.
this year. So to see this team still score 117
17 points.
points when you don't have your guys, you know what I mean? Like we got, like you said, Julian Strother came and gave you 12.
hmm
So we got these other type of scorings. Christian Brown really hasn't found his footing at all this year. And we're making, if we really start getting into the game, it's like, okay, Christian Brown hasn't really found it this year, and Cam's still trying to figure out his role. So you really have our three starters that are cooking, and then the bench that's on fire.
Right.
So if we can get those other two into the mix and having them play at a high level like we've seen them do in the past, this team is going to win 60 games this year.
Like,
Can I just point out something I noticed last night? Because you just said it, Cam hasn't found his role, but last night he was 5 of 11. He obviously was 0 for 3 from three. But he had 12 points. He had
yeah,
12 meaningful
He's
points.
starting to
So
he's
Last
starting to
night was
get
I
one of his
think,
better games for sure.
but when you think about it, it's because Maul and AG were out.
yeah.
Like they are great in a lot of the offense rolls through them, especially now that AG can, he'll take the ball at the top of the key, dribble and make his own. And
hmm
so that's where for me, Cam, he went to Brooklyn, became one of the guys who needed the ball to. But before then, he was in Phoenix, and he was very much so comes in off the bench and kind of is like an energy guy, gets into it how he needs to. But that was 4 seasons ago, four or
Yeah.
5 seasons ago. So I think his gameplay has changed, and he's got to find back into that role. He needs to find the amalgamation sweet spot. To sit here and say anything other than Cam Johnson will be fine for the Nuggets to me is asinine.
I think
I think
Cam just needs to find a shot. It's not even really that he's not finding his way in the mix, even though I said I just was saying that. Largely what it is that, hey, you got a wide open three. Shoot that joint with confidence. You're a 40% three-point shooter when you're on. Shoot the ball with confidence. And now you're gonna be looking like Tim Hardaway with your 17, 18, 19 points in the game. Because he has the opportunity to get 20 points in the game.
Yeah.
Even though you're saying AG and Jamal and them, taking up some of those buckets. This dude Cam, I've seen a bunch of times have wide open shots, and he's just like he's shooting it quick. Just relax, take that shot. Even if it's you gotta breathe one more second. Just shoot that, like shoot it with confidence, and he's gonna get up to his 20 points. But where Cam's lacking offensively, he's stepped up tremendously defensively. So I think it's
Yeah.
worth mentioning how this team is really taking pride in defense too. Even though Nikola, is not always going to be the best defender, he's still doing his job like we always
he's
mentioned.
very underrated
He's
though.
stealing the
Very
ball.
underrated.
Yeah, he's still stealing the ball. Peyton Watson obviously is probably just our best defender at this point. AG's always been a
AG.
great defender. And Jamal's not, getting cooked, I haven't seen any guard outside of Steph Curry, and that was Christian Brown's role. And when you're playing the best player on a team, you're gonna have people that cook you. So I'm just saying, I think this team is looking exactly how we probably imagined it when we saw it. I just think that when you make certain deals in the offseason, like I remember when we got Bruce Brown, it was like, yeah, we're gonna win a championship. When we got Tim Hardaway, I was like, that was unexpected. I said I didn't expect that we'd get Tim Hardaway, who's only 1 year removed from playing 82 games as a starter last year.
Yeah.
So then I was like, we're getting a starter on the bench. And now it's like, okay, Cam doesn't have to be perfect, but if Cam and Tim Hardaway can combine for what they had last night, which is about 30 points between them, we can live with that. Because now if they're putting up 30 plus points between that small forward role, we're getting a lot of production right.
And Jays, I'll let you jump in. The other thing I love about this bench is energy. That's the
Yeah.
one word
You
I'll
got it.
say. Like last night, we already talked about Tim, but Brucey B, he
Yeah.
had a big. Oh, well, let me sidebar that
Bruce
before I
Brown
go into
locked him
that.
up.
Cam's and one really ended the game to me. His
Mm.
little when he took it to the hole and did that like two hand, toss up, he hits it, and it was like when it went in. I know the Pepsi can ballerina went nuts, went
Mm.
berserk. It was a big pop because I think what the fans were showing you was that like, yes, it was like us being like we're behind you, and that was a big shot in a big moment. And one he goes there and they go on their run. Another big moment was when Brucey B stole the inbound pass and got that layup and starts yelling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He brings that energy that
Yeah.
that I've been here before. He himself. We have championship DNA and we have championship culture. And another thing from Friday going back, and this is what I want to hear your thoughts on this. Big Val. Big
Yeah.
Yeah.
Val,
Yeah.
16
Let's
minutes.
not forget them.
And so much so, Jokic didn't even have to play in the fourth
No.
Nope.
because he came out and gave such good minutes early in the fourth quarter that it was like roll with it. And you
You know,
saw that clip that's now a meme of Jokic pointing to his head after that and one from Val because he got the dude to jump. He did a little hezzy head fake. Defender comes in, he swats his body, he gets an and one. The Amazon Prime broadcast points to Jokic, and he's on the bench pointing to his head, saying he's a smart player. And
Yeah.
we've never
and he
truly
hit two big
someone.
threes.
Yes,
Two
we've
big
never
threes.
had someone from the center position, boogie somewhat, but who can just literally take over in his own way like that, and to the point where it's like this Nuggets team is very dangerous. We knew they were going to be, but now almost 10 games in, we see it, and it's like it's very much so what it was. So I wanted to throw to Jays to see because
Yeah, I was just gonna
I know
add
you're a
one
big Val
point to
guy.
that though, is because I think what we're saying around this whole thing about the Nuggets
Yeah.
is that we don't know who's gonna necessarily show up on any given night,
Right.
but we know we're gonna have 6 to 7 dogs hooping at any given night, whether it's Jokic, Jamal, AG, Tim Hardaway, Big Val, and someone else, or Bruce Brown gets in there. We have a lot of different options. That's all I was gonna say.
You know what I also liked in the Warriors game when they got to the free throw line, they actually got free throws because Jamal was 100% 2 for 2.
They hit him, which is
They hit him.
okay.
Yeah, 100% free throw percentage. Valanciunas had 2. He hit 100%. Tim Hardaway 100%. He had 2. Brucey Brown was being aggressive. He had 4 times trips to the and he had 100%. And then finally, Junior Strother
Yeah.
got there 4 times and hit. If you have a team that can get to the free throw line and actually get those points,
Yeah.
I don't say less. I mean, what else you gonna say?
And they like each other. Like you got AG full. He was all cashmere or whatever it was last night, all tan,
and Tech
just sitting there having a good time. You know, cheering for his teammates. Where he can watch a game and he doesn't feel like, oh crap, I have to be out there for us to win. You know, because like even with the hamstring last year, it's like he had to be out there for us to win. This year we have guys that's like, all right, if Jokic needs a day off. Big Val's gonna come in, and guess who's gonna come up behind him? Who's had a great night in G League, Grand Rapids, was De'Aaron Holmes.
Yeah.
So if De'Aaron Holmes is starting to get some playing time, he scored like 25 points in a G League game.
Okay.
So now it's like, okay, if Jokic needs a day off, Big Val can easily step into that to that starter unit, and then we can get points other place. I would say, I think if the Nuggets just want to keep getting better, we could still make trades at the deadline. I said we could still get rid of some people. Like we still
Here
y'all
go.
Like Zeke's still there. You know, so that's still a movable piece. I love Zeke, but he's been on Nuggets long enough to be either. It's like you could have either been in the rotation or you're not in. He's like you're not going to be in the rotation, but he's not a bad basketball player. We can get rid of him. And then you have other guys that are taking up spots on the team. So if we can package something, even if it's like a second round pick in there with them, we can get one other guy to come onto the team.
Can I say one name that I liked when we were playing them earlier this week? I saw his game. I was like, he can mesh with the Nuggets. He might be pretty expensive, but he can mesh. And I'll leave it at this: Dennis Schroeder.
Well, yeah. I mean, he can mesh with most teams. He's a good player.
Yeah, and here's to the point about Dennis Schroeder just in general. I love that this team, like I said, likes playing with each other because you'll hear quotes come out from Big Val talking about he's enjoying the game again. Remember, he said he had moved around so much he was just not enjoying basketball.
Probably
Bruce Brown
thought he was going to be in Europe or something.
Bruce Brown just saying, if I just touching that MF, I feel better. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then you saw Tim Hardaway say something around the lines of, I'm really happy right now.
Yeah.
He said, I'm happy in the place I am right now.
Right.
And that is what you need for an 82 game season. And then I got to talk about, Coach DA. Okay. Because I think when we get into if we're talking about really what's going on with these Nuggets, is that DA is running. I think I'm my guess, and I don't know if I know or not, but it seems like he really was the X and O's guy underneath Mike Malone.
Probably.
Because if you see how the offense is running, we are doing like we're setting picks. And then we're sliding that pick, and then people are coming around. Like the motion in these picks are a lot more dynamic. You can tell that the offense is running a little bit more efficient. And it's weird because in a lot of sense, you're like, okay, the Nuggets ran around Jokic.
Yeah.
But now you really see the Nuggets rolling around Jokic. It's like you can see it's like he is literally the sun, and all you're seeing is people doing cuts and around him having the ball. There's so much movement when he just has the rock. So now it's like, okay, Jokic doesn't have to do as much, but more guys are getting open. That's why I was even saying with Cam, it's like it's only a matter of time he starts hitting these jumpers. Because if Jamal's getting open and AG's getting open, now Cam, you're having wide open shots, and it's because of what AD and the rest of the team. We got JJ Barea on the team now, on the coaching staff, should I say? We got Dudley. So we have a lot of basketball minds on this team, and whatever we're doing offensively with those movements, it's a lot cleaner. I'm just saying I've seen it. And granted, Mike Malone didn't have the team the way we have it, but what's going on right now, the way they're moving, because you don't even see the 2-man game. You don't see the pick and roll as much. Like the Nuggets aren't subjugated to the Jokic and Maul game as much. They're really rotating it in a lot more.
Jace, can I jump in really quickly?
Yeah, go for it.
No, to that point, I thought that was a great breakdown and then even on the defensive end, they're top 5. They're the only team. They always say like, who's the 2 top teams in offensive efficiency rating, net efficiency rating, and defense? The top 10 It's OKC and the Nuggets up there. But
Hmm.
top five is the Nuggets. That's the only team that's in both the top five offense and
Yeah, I
defense.
saw it. It's offense for OKC, but defense not so much in the top five. They're in the top 10, I believe,
Yeah, they're
not
both in
in
the
the
top,
top five.
and
The
the
Nuggets
Nuggets are
are
in the top
both.
five. Yeah,
Hmm.
and that's
Yeah,
something to hang your hat on if you want to stay in the top five all season and deep into the playoffs.
yeah,
But to what you're saying about him, about Nikola being the universe that everybody kind of orbits,
right.
is I saw this really cool breakdown of assists made from one player to another this season. So the passer to the shooter. So right now, your boy Cade Cunningham is leading it with 25 assists to Jalen Duren.
Yeah,
Next on the list is Josh Giddey with 24 to Vucevic. Then you had George to Laurie Markin, and he has 23. Then you have Nikola Jokic to Aaron Gordon with 21. But then there's a list of others on there. But however, the only player on this list multiple times is, you guessed it, Nikola
hmm,
Jokic. He's with there to to Gordon. He's to Christian Brown. He's to Jamal Murray. So he's on it three times, and then Jamal Murray's on
But don't
it
sleep on
with
before
Jamal.
with
Jamal.
yeah with 19 to Nikola.
Yep.
So it's, to your point, everyone else, yeah, Cade Cunningham is assisting these people. Lonzo Ball to Bridges. Draymond Green to Steph Curry. There's some great names on here. Maxi to Oubre. Some great tandems. But Nikola is he's the point person to it all, and that's something where you gotta look around and say hats off to Da.
And you know the interesting thing about that too. 2 points. I'm going to get back to Cam real quick, real too, is that they're embracing it. I mean, not that you wouldn't. I don't know which coach in the NBA wouldn't embrace it, but I mean, you're embracing it and you're using it even more. You're making it be exponential, because they had the two-man game. Everybody talked about that. Oh, y'all are great. And now you're saying they're doing some. They had some cuts with Aaron Gordon and last year, and he was open and all of that to him. So now you're doing even a bigger, a wide berth with others and more picks and on that and so I love it. I love it. I think you need it. I think you need to throw these teams off because they're gunning for us. We were talking about how they're going to be gunning for OKC. We stay in the top two. They're going to be gunning for us because if we didn't lose the Portland game, we'd have the same record as OKC right now.
Yep. What else were you gonna say about Cam?
Cam, here's what I'm thinking about Cam. I think Cam is a very smart basketball player.
Right.
Okay. I think he, just like AG, was the man where they came from. AG was the one rolling in Magic, Orlando when he came. And then we know that Cam was doing the where he over at New Jersey. So here we go. I think he's a thinker. I think he's going to get it. I saw it kind of last night. He, of course, it did get grander, but when he did it, he said, "Okay, I can play defense. I'm gonna play defense. Okay, I'm gonna be moving a little bit more in the spaces that I'm gonna move in. Maybe he thought last night, AG's not here. I'm gonna move in the space AG. I saw AG move in. I don't know. Will that help this game? He just has to find his spot, and I think he will. If we could do that, and he solidifies that three position, and we have Tim Hardaway to come off the bench or be substituted out with Cam, we're better. We're
Yeah.
better. We're
I
better.
think Cam will continue to start largely because Tim can be a microwave off the
Yeah.
bench. So I think that Tim, as quiet as it's kept, we was talking about six man of the year.
Yeah.
We might have him in Denver if he keeps
I
playing more.
I
He
I
playing another 70
I
games like this.
I violently agree with that, and I disagree with Cam going to the bench. I think when he's trying to get his game,
Oh yeah.
No, I'm saying
thus
he's
his
not gonna
thus
do
He's
it.
his
saying
thus
that's what
his
we're gonna
find
do.
his shot, his confidence,
Yeah.
sending him to the bench doesn't help any of that.
No, I wouldn't
Doesn't
do
help
that.
any of that.
I'm not
That's
saying it is.
a
It hasn't
if
even
you
been
do
30
something,
days. 30
yeah,
days.
I'm
You
with
don't give
you.
somebody 30 days. Come on.
I don't think you do that until like a playoff adjustment, something like
Hmm.
that. Like when it's just like literally matchup
We
and
Yeah.
gotta
you
win. Yeah, like we gotta
you
win.
Yeah.
gotta win seven, you gotta win 4 or 7 games, and it's like, hey, we're gonna do this for game five, we're gonna do this for game six, whatever, like that. That's when you do that. But to your point, we just said, Brucey B, I heard him have a quote in one of the pressers. He's like, let's see by, give us to the end of Christmas. Like by
Okay.
Christmas, give us 20 games,
Yeah.
get to Christmas, we'll have our connection and flow to
Hmm.
each other. And no doubt, I think this team, the sky's the limit. I thought they could win the championship. We'll get into it, not Nuggets, other contenders out here, but like now I've seen it. There's it's if they play defense the way they're capable of doing it, and we are just starting to scratch the surface about how good they can be on offense. This team is a really, really, really good basketball team.
Well, we already are better than last year because I haven't had
Oh,
a
we
game
would
when we
smoke
haven't
last year's
scored
team.
under 100 points.
Oh yeah, this
Last
team is crazy.
last year's team just had so much grit.
Yeah.
Like that's last year's team is one of my favorite Nuggets teams of all
Hmm.
time, just because they had so much grit. If they were down by 10, they could come back. You
Yeah.
saw how they fought in the postseason. They were just so veteran led that it was really seven guys, really, if we want to be honest.
You think
You
we
know.
that has changed though with the ones we have now, the
No, it's just
competition?
obviously different. Russell Westbrook's not in there.
Right.
MPJ's not there.
Yeah.
Malone's not the coach. It's different.
Okay.
This is a whole new energy team.
Yeah, it's
Like
whole new
Yeah.
energy, and
this team is a
yeah.
whole new team.
I was gonna say, speaking of a whole new team, because even again, go back to coach, he was talking about it in a presser about micromanaging the season, which meant to
He
me
did.
like he had been in that locker room before, which he has,
Hmm.
and saw where things can go off the rails with a team. So he's like, guys, we need to micromanage the season. Let's get these four at home.
Yeah.
It's not enough. It's not good enough to get three out of four at home. Let's get all four.
Hmm.
And I think the details of coach there is making a big difference. And to your point, it's that, and I guess it's to Christoph's point, this team is trying to figure each other out. So
Yeah.
they're not going to get as bored in a regular season because Cam's sitting there going, dang, okay, first 10 games I only played like this.
Right.
How can I improve over these next 10?
Right.
Brucey B's probably sitting there saying, like,
Oh,
man,
he's always
when
saying it.
I was in Denver, I was doing it like
Yeah.
this. I need to go get better, even better than when
Mhm.
I am here. And then of course you got CB who's not playing that great
That's
right
the
now.
elephant
And
in the
he
room.
has like
Yeah.
that, okay, I just got paid.
Yeah.
I'm not the main scorer on this team, but I need to find my way to play. And granted, he is playing the best players. Like I think a
Mm.
lot of times can't Christian Brown's impact won't always be felt from
Yeah.
a box score, but he's guarding Curry's of the world.
Yeah.
And
It
there's gonna
is.
be times where he looks good, and there's gonna be times where he's gonna be like, I've been playing 40 minutes worth of defense, and that's what it's
Hmm.
gonna look like.
Yeah. No, I agree to that. I think we know he's better. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
even when he's guarding, he's better. He used to have a 3-point shot, and he needs to find it because he's not hitting those 3-point shots, and we expect him because Joker's still giving it to him. He's
Mm.
still throwing it to him, and then waiting to see if he's going to hit him. So I think everybody has some. And then we haven't, like I said, one of the elephants in the room was him that we needed to talk about, and you brought him up. The other
Yeah.
one is Murray. Who is he? He has come out like guns a blazing. Y'all talk, I
As this
realized,
podcast love Murray,
oh
so
my God,
there ain't nothing to see here.
I realized that I have got to play better early. Y'all don't have to tell me that. I got to do that. And if he plays better early, he's going to be in the top 10 or whatever you want to get to be an all-star.
Yeah.
Because right now, who else has better all-star numbers in the West? Um, than Murray. I guess SGA, but we're number two.
Yeah.
So who? I mean, if you're gonna say Curry every time. Okay, you're gonna Curry. Okay, SGA. Who else
Devin
now?
Booker's playing pretty well.
Silence. Crickets. I mean, he is. He is. However, he's not on the number two team in the West at the moment.
No.
So that's all I'm saying. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
am I
I
wrong or?
I agree what you were saying. Jays, he needs to stick to it. Obviously, you don't get voted into the All-Star game of what you did in October and the first week of November. So just have a good November. To Kyle's and DA's point, micromanage from Maul's perspective,
Yeah.
micromanage the season. Let's have a good November.
And we gonna vote for you, bro.
Let's have a good games before Christmas. Let's have a good
Oh, if you
Christmas
listening,
night.
we gonna vote for you, man. Don't even trip.
Let's have a good start to the new year. Let's finish January strong and see where we're at that point.
Right.
Especially if you ball out on Christmas, like the world's watching, Santa's watching, his elves are watching. You'll get those votes. But I think too what you were kind of saying
Mhm.
about CB and Cam and these folks still trying to find their way on this team
Yes.
is that they're still trying to find their way and they're motivated to your point, Kyle. Like Cam's motivated to fit in. CB's motivated to prove that he's worth his money. Everyone's has still something that they still have a button that could be pressed. I
Yeah.
know our head coach is not Phil Jackson. I pray to God he becomes it,
Oh,
but he can you still have those buttons you can push. You
yeah.
know, you can push that button. Nikola, you didn't win the MVP last year. You know,
Murray,
Jamal,
you have never been
Jamal,
an
you've never been
all-star.
an all-star.
Yeah.
DB,
AG.
maybe we overpaid
Yeah, AG, you know what? You should have been an all-star last year. You got to do the same thing again to get there.
for
So
real.
when y'all get to not nuggets, I have a small question to ask, and I hope I answer it right.
Well, I mean,
I
do you
I
have
would
anything else, Christoph? For
no,
the
before I was gonna say, before we move on, the Nuggets' next three games are on the road at Sacramento, at LA, at Minnesota. They're home for, who we will probably touch on in here in this next segment, Chicago. Then you got at New Orleans, at Houston, and then we come into Thanksgiving week against Sacramento in away at Memphis. So just looking at the next, what was that? About 10 games.
got some good teams.
You've got some good teams mixed with some teams you should beat. So I think, and it's all once more, it's all part of the NBA Cup. So they just said, Adelman just said he liked the NBA Cup. He said it was kind of interesting, yada yada yada. I don't put too much stock in it, but like if you guys are into it, this would be a good time to kind of go forth and conquer the NBA Cup.
And not that it matters, but teams that make it or around the NBA Cup have done pretty well. So I mean, that means you're just one of the better teams in the league. So
Hmm.
and granted, Lord knows that if it was around in 2023, the Nuggets would have
Hmm.
probably won it that year.
Yeah.
I would say last thing on the Nuggets, and it really is not Nuggets in a way, but these NBA schedulers ain't slick. They waited till February for the Nuggets to play the Thunder one time. We couldn't get that you can't get that any time before the new year. Why do y'all wait till February?
And
They
they
Everybody,
want
we
to
want to see these teams
they want to
play.
bring them together because they know that those were going to be the two
They
top,
get one game.
not only in the division but in the conference. So they have it later, so it has
No.
even more
I get
significance
it,
and
but bro,
value.
put that somewhere. You know who does it good with scheduling? The NFL. The NFL has done a great job of saying, "Hey, these are the teams y'all want to see.
yeah,
We gonna let you guys see them play. Why we gotta wait till February to see Nuggets versus Thunder? That's crazy."
But
yeah,
you
And
see,
you
you
knew
have
the
them.
Nuggets were gonna be good, and we went to Game 7 with them.
yeah,
So like to not even have them play that early is crazy to me. I just don't get it.
yeah. Well,
It's illogical. But anyways, let's go to not Nuggets.
all right. Here's my not nuggets thought. Remember, I said Denver number's two in the West. I
Can
looked.
we? I'm so
You got
sorry.
it.
I'm
No,
so
go
sorry
for
to
it.
do
Go
this
for it.
because that was such a good point, and I just had to look at their schedule. The schedule makers maybe even cooked a little bit, Kyle, for the Nuggets at least. The Nuggets close the season home to Oklahoma City and at San Antonio. So I think that's a good transition into not Nuggets because you're looking at probably the top three in the West right there.
Yes.
And the
Yeah.
Nuggets could either go from 1 to 3, if we'll see how the season shakes out.
And did you check the schedule? When do we play the Clippers?
We play them
We went to
tomorrow or
Game
like
7
this
with
week.
both these
This
teams,
week.
huh?
They play them on Wednesday of this week.
Clippers.
Yes.
Okay, cool. See, we played Clippers earlier. At
Right.
least I'm like, shoot, we should have played one of these teams. We went to Game 7 with both of
Well,
them.
you know, preseason we played OKC, but doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, no,
Does not matter.
that does not
All right,
matter.
what's your not Nuggets?
Okay, top. You just hit it again. Top three teams. Oklahoma. I said Denver was number two. They are not. It's San Antonio Spurs.
Try to tell y'all
That's
about
what
Wemby.
no, we have the same record, 7-2. And I was like, well, why are they above us? Why do they have that? You know that, and it's because only thing I can think of, they played more division games than we have.
Mhm.
They played four and they won them all. And we played two and we won one, lost one, and the other, the loss was probably the Portland. Okay, so that's what it is. And then they went ahead of us, but we're the last. Our streak is the last four wins,
Yep.
and theirs is the last two. And so I'm like, well, how did San Antonio get over us? Now I know they have Wemby. I know they're streaking forward. And so here. Let me let's talk about this since we're not Nuggets. It's Oklahoma City and it's Western Conference. Oklahoma City, San Antonio, Denver, Lakers. We haven't talked about them at all. Rockets, which everyone thought was going to be much higher, and Minnesota. So that sounds about right to me.
I mean, Rockets are fine because they just won today. Like they just won, so they'll be right where
Six
they're
and
at.
three.
They'll still be
They
good.
lost three. So doesn't that sound about right to you or not? Is anybody in there that you think shouldn't be in
I
there?
think the Spurs are
No,
so high.
I
They're good.
no.
They're playing good basketball.
No, I think the top three, I think will remain the top three. The frisky one that's going to be the name buzz because that's who they are as the Lakers. And the one to answer your question, who shouldn't be there, who I think will start to overtake specifically Minnesota, is Portland. Portland beat the Nuggets. They also
The OKC.
the only people that beat OKC.
Yeah.
I guess the Northwest Division continues to stay the best division in basketball. It has been for about 4 years here now, but it's great for the teams that are in it. I'll give credit to OKC. OKC, it's good for them. It's good for us Nuggets because every single time you have a division game, you're playing a team that's top six in the West. And that's just what it is. And I think Portland is a team I've kind of circled as someone who can make something kind of shake. They have great young talent. They're well, I mean, somehow they're well coached. And they put it together, they put it together very well. And that's a team that I think they're gonna stick around a little bit long. You could clip that if it's good, and you could come back to it if it's bad.
You're saying Portland's well coached?
That's what I said.
Probably a
Somehow,
joke in there somewhere. Never mind.
Yeah, I said
I was like, no,
somehow,
that was
somehow
better.
they are well coached.
Yeah, I think the team we'll talk more about the West because I think obviously Wemby, who's been playing well, who I think I think I said it on the first podcast, but I know I said something about Wemby being MVP.
You did.
I hope it was on that podcast because I've been saying it a lot. I don't think we said MVP pick, which is crazy. But anyways, what about Detroit? That's another team I told y'all about. I know I was a year early one time, and then last year they were playing well with Tim Hardaway.
Yeah.
But now they're leading the East. They're at 7-2.
And so we're Cleveland.
Cade playing great basketball. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Cleveland's there. Philadelphia, we could talk about them. They're tied with Milwaukee, so they're top four. Detroit, Cleveland, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, then the Bulls and the Knicks. And so, I think that's disappointing for the Knicks, but they only lost 3 games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's a lot of good basketball in the East.
I'm just obviously there's a lot of basketball to be played. Just
Yeah.
looking at what's going on though, I do think that the cream is starting to rise to the top early.
Mm.
And I really do think that the top six in the it's at this right now, the top six in the East, as well as I already said Portland and Minnesota will joust in the West, but the top sixes I think will continue to look very similar
To
throughout
that.
the
Hmm.
season.
You think the
Throughout the
Lakers will
season.
too? You think the Lakers will still be there?
LeBron's coming back.
I know, and
LeBron
that's what I
James
was
coming
asking.
back.
Like when
That's
LeBron
what I'm
comes
saying.
back, that ball that you think is gonna be is
Enough
gonna
balls.
yeah. You
Enough.
think that's
I
gonna
think,
continue
look,
too?
come on, you can sit here and tell me LeBron James, who's one of the smartest players of all time, knows that he's in his 23rd season, isn't going to look around and be like, he's been watching these games. He's going to become the great facilitator, and he's going to know when to take the shots. I have nothing but faith in LeBron to know how he's going to plug back
That's
into this
fair.
team.
That's fair. I was just asking.
I would actually have more questions about how this team's going to plug back with LeBron than
That's
how
fair.
LeBron's going to play with them. I to that point though. I'm really looking at the one person that could change the league this year. This is a hot take alert. The one player that could change the league, in my opinion, can really alter a course of somebody's franchise is Ja Morant. Because if Ja Morant, right here, as I sit in Miami, Florida,
Oh boy.
if Ja Morant becomes a Miami Heat, Miami becomes it
Yeah.
becomes something interesting in the East.
Where's my
Uh,
seven?
if
They're
Ja,
seven. They're seven now. So
what about if Ja goes to the Clippers? That makes them interesting. Now I can see them start to creep up there. If
Timberwolves.
I don't think that Ja's gonna go to Timberwolves, but never say never.
Ant was
Um,
trying to recruit him. That's what I was at. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, Ja to Philadelphia. That would probably be the most chaotic of a
oh,
bunch.
it would be
But
chaotic.
I but
It
I
would be
think
chaotic.
I think Ja is the player right now. But obviously you never know. Luka got traded last year, so
That's what I was gonna say. I said, let
I sit
me just
here
stop
on my Ivy
saying
throne
we
thinking I
can't
know
get
what's
traded.
going on. So as like the potential out there, the one I would love to see is Ja to Miami.
Uh John of Miami. Miami's sitting in seventh place, so that would be they'd be going after Knicks and Bulls. So, for those spots. But
Let's
yeah.
talk about them really fast. Josh Giddey balling out his brain. Josh
Mhm.
Giddey balling out his brain, and Kobe White hasn't come back. The Bulls will stick around. I have hope. They've been toiling around in the what
Mhm.
will you say the undercard, the mid tier, the play in. They've been toiling around in that for some years. They've been a frisky 8, 9, 10,
I'll take my
and
victory lap on that one too.
the Bulls look good. And obviously the team that, Milwaukee's always going to be good. If Milwaukee's a piece or two away, but I don't know who they trade to get to that. So I think the East is a very interesting. I think Ja would make it a lot more interesting, but the power brokers are in the West.
Yeah, I think the East has become more interesting than I think we were giving it credit at the beginning of
Yeah.
the season. We thought, the Knicks being the Knicks and how far they went, and just
We had it pretty
we
high.
had them pretty high. And I think right now, what you're seeing is that the East actually has a lot of talent.
Yeah.
As far as it's kept, you got, as you said, Minnesota's playing good. I mean, Milwaukee's playing good basketball.
Yes.
Sixers, we can't even talk. Maybe the rookie of the year through the first month has been VJ
Yeah.
Edgecombe. You know what I mean? So
Seems like
just
it.
crazy talent as a basketball player. Spring definitely can hoop. He's being a nice complimentary piece to what Maxi's doing there.
Yep.
Joel Embiid's not even really been out there as much, but he's still on that team. So they have players that are really leading them up the chain. We already
Yeah.
knew the Cavs were who they are. And then you got, like you said, now we got the Knicks at the sixth seed right now. They're gonna have to work. You know what I'm saying? Even if they get up to that one seed at the end of the year, they're gonna have to play some good teams. Like, well, no matter what, these teams aren't gonna be easy outs.
No.
And you still got Toronto who might move a piece there, because they have Brandon Ingram. You don't want to necessarily get into a Brandon Ingram game late. So there's a lot going down. So I think the East is very interesting. I think the NBA as a whole is interesting.
hmm
Yeah.
to that point, Embiid's averaging almost 20 points a night.
Exactly.
It's just Maxi's averaging 33. So
You're
he's
right,
that he
Maxie.
said, look at me. I'm the captain now.
Yeah, he is.
So
Let him
yeah,
have it. I
so
mean, everybody else is Embiid. I know what you want to do, but everybody has already handed that mantle over to Maxie.
yeah, it's
And then now
Maxi's
he has a road
Maxi's team.
dog too. He got a Robin to his Batman.
Yep.
It's crazy. I love that. I mean, we got to watch it because it's something to behold over there with the
What do y'all what
76ers.
do you have to say about Russ coming back to Denver? Did you enjoy that
I
movie?
enjoyed it. I liked it. We had two people come back. Russ, I have nothing but good stuff to say about Russ. I wish him well. I hope he does well in Sacramento. He showed out when he came here. He's
Yeah.
had 20 plus points. I think that was their leading scorer that night.
Quiet as kept, he's
So
having a good season.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, he went somewhere where he could show his skills, and
exactly.
he managed in Denver. He came on. He was six man off the bench. He was okay with it because we had like a championship team in front of him. But when he goes somewhere else, he's just as good as anybody else in the team,
Yep.
and that's what he's proven. So,
And
You know what
go
else?
ahead.
Sorry, go for it.
No, go ahead. I think you're gonna say the same thing, so go ahead.
No, Russ is a Hall of Famer. He's been on enough teams. He's professional. He's gonna always do right by the stats sheet. And I don't know if it's really being seen in the win column at the point. They're 3-6. I have no threats. They play no defense. That's the thing.
yeah,
So. So I'm happy for Russ. I'm happy he's balling. Russ, one of my favorite players. Maybe he gets dealt at the deadline and maybe goes against a chance to win a championship. But like at this moment, I'm happy he's in the league.
And
yeah,
speaking of being dealt at the trade deadline and somebody that's been playing well in a New Jersey, Michael Porter's been playing pretty good in
yeah,
Brooklyn.
yeah.
Yeah,
Say what you
yeah.
must about him. And
He-
I think he's ultimately going to be one of the biggest trade pieces come free agency because this is working perfectly for what Brooklyn was hoping. You have a guy that you can trade who could shift an NBA team. You know what I mean? We're
mhm.
talking about somebody that if he's on the right team,
He'll give
that
you
team
six
could make
points
a
in
big
game seven.
difference. You know what I'm
If
saying?
he,
That's yes, that's true too. But I'm
yeah.
just saying, you add Michael Porter to the Cavs, you add Michael Porter to Detroit,
Yeah,
they're gonna be happy with that pickup.
Very
yeah,
much so, and he'll give them 8 points in Game 7. So I think moral of the story is he's having a great season. I mean, a good season. He's averaging 23 points a night, and he's got one more win than us three combined at this table.
Oh no, it's
So
not about wins. It's about assets. And if Brooklyn Nets can get two or three picks if they get one or two first round picks for Michael Porter, that's gonna make a big difference for them, bro.
Yeah, I just think I think Michael Porter's playing his type of basketball. Dribble, 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 dribble,
Yeah,
dribble,
well,
shoot.
he's like that, like a lot of people. I
And
mean,
I think he's finally playing the NBA basketball that he kind of wants to be playing, where it's like I get my check, I shoot, I get my check, I rehab, I get my check, I
yeah,
shoot. And that's cool because thank God he's on the other coast than where we are because
yeah,
we're thinking championship. He's thinking, like Dan Lannon said, he said they playing for clicks, we playing for wins, you
yeah.
know. And I appreciate everything MPJ's done, but once more, 7 points in game seven, 6 points in game seven. See you later, bro.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we love them dearly here at on the pod. The other one that came back, I mentioned two of our former players came back. DeAndre Jordan came back as
Yeah.
well. We saw him and both him and Russ contributed greatly to the team last year. And if nothing more than being good in the locker room, helping the youngins, get acclimated to the system, leading the bench, all
Yeah.
of that. And so they did those videos that they put in the middle of those when they come and announce them, and the crowd had good reception for
Oh
both of
yeah.
them. So
That's a Nuggets. That's a Nuggets champion right
it
there.
is.
I didn't want to say Nuggets legend. That'd be a little
But
extreme.
he's a
But
champion.
he's an important piece of the Denver Nuggets for us.
Yeah. So
Let's go into the 2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes remaining.
So, the NBA washed. I don't like watching the NBA.
Yeah, we don't like them.
NBA's not good no
Not
more.
good.
It ain't, Christmas Day is NFL Day.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
Okay.
First month of the year. NBA up 92% year over year for
Wow.
national televised games and the most viewers in over 15 years for opening week.
So do you think that's because now we don't have the same networking, or we have more options, or
I was
what do
gonna
you
open it up to you. What
what do
is
you
your
think
thought
what
process
stuff? What do you think
for
it
what's
is?
going on right now?
Truth be told, I think it's the presentation of how, how the league is being, presented to us. The streamings is working so far.
Yeah.
Obviously, we lost NBA on TNT. However, the Inside NBA coming over to
Yes. Yeah.
ESPN,
Hmm.
still, I think, it has resonated. Obviously,
Yeah. Yeah.
the ESPN the script in the middle, not TNT, but you still have Ernie, Shaq, Kenny, and
Sure.
Charles, and
Hmm.
it's still the same energy, still the same entrance music. There's
Yeah.
still the Atlanta TV studio, so you still have that. But then you also have, you have Dirk and Blake Griffin and Taylor Rooks and Adonis Haslam and Steve Nash for
Yeah.
Amazon. You have the folks
Noah.
over at NBC. The NBC, you got the rolling. What is it? The Rolling Round theme song is back.
Yeah.
It has all these things and Michael Jordan's little commentary. So I think it feels fresh
Yeah.
initially.
Something new.
And I think the league. I know, contrary to the commissioner's belief about it being a highlight league, I do think that a lot of fans are now a lot more analytical and want to see the game being broke down a little bit more. And they're
Yeah.
not, back to what I was just saying, they're not fighting for clicks so much anymore. They want to hear
Yes.
how greats really think through the game. And now we have a new slew of greats.
We
Listening to
do.
Dirk Nowitzki talk about play
Yeah.
off the block was really cool. You see, just seeing how Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady interact. I know they're first cousins, but now
Mm.
you get to see that on television, and they're just, it's a very it's new. It's exciting. It's fresh. Obviously, if you want to get into a bigger conversation, you meeting people where they are. A lot of people utilize streamers more than cable.
That's true.
So when you get a television, you get Wi-Fi, and then you'll buy your Peacock or you'll buy your Amazon Prime or your Netflix. So they have the NBA looked at and said, here's where folks
That's where
are
the growth is in it.
consuming their content. This is where we're gonna go get them at their point of where they're viewing. So from a business analytical standpoint, uh, it's working. The growth of the game is there, and then also I think another element of it. I'm sorry to be long-winded here, is that you have a change of guard. If you really look at it,
That
LeBron
was my
hasn't played a
point.
single
That was going
has
to be
not
my point.
LeBron hasn't played a single game.
Yeah.
Steph Curry, he played the opening night, and you
Yeah.
saw him. Obviously, the Nuggets fans saw him ball completely out. That half court shot to take him into overtime, it was
That was,
patented
yeah.
Steph. At a point, like I love my Nuggets, but like,
Oh, you saw pretty early that it was coming.
when you see there's still nothing like when Steph gets hot. Like
He was hot.
I hate when it's at our expense, but it
He
was
was
it was
hot. Yes, he
it was
was.
a sight to be seen.
Mhm.
But then you have Paul George hasn't played. Obviously the greats have, now Dirk is on television. And
Yeah.
they show Wimby, and then they cut to Tim Duncan up in the rafters. And I already said Shaq's on TV.
Yeah.
So it's like the elders, the people who brought the game into this decade have already kind of left. And now you have Wemby, SGA, you have Nicole. When Nikola and Giannis are the elder statesmen of the league, that tells you everything you need to know about where the
Yeah.
game is. And
Yeah. No, I agree.
you have young,
I think it's
fresh.
older and younger. They have some rookies that, we just talked about the Philadelphia 76ers with the rookie, and then Flag and others. People are saying, how are they doing and how are they getting integrated? And then Wemby's back, and all of that. And I think all of the totality of all that you said and all that they get to see different options of watching
Yeah.
has contributed.
I think it's like we are saying, and the teams are playing well. And like for example, like we were talking about the whole podcast is where you have a bunch of great teams playing really good basketball. That's going to make a big difference. To Christoph's point, we get Michael Jordan commentary again. We haven't heard the GOAT talk about basketball in a while. Carmelo, y'all didn't say that.
Well,
Carmelo and Jokic kind of talking together. That was a really cool moment, 15 to 15. You saw Jokic talking to Steve Nash, you know what I'm saying, and they're having that banter. And Steve Nash is relevant because of all the conversations he's having with LeBron James with the mind the gap or mind the game podcast. So you have all these personalities, to Christoph's point, that the commentary is just as much as fun as the game. You can't deny about what happened at the beginning of the NBA season, where they became like the national media. NBA kind of got the national spotlight for some of the things that happened off the court. So I think on and off the court. So you have a lot going on there. So I think the NBA is just very a part of culture. And it always is a part of culture because you have all these figures that people think about. So I think that's why it's easier to watch and the games are good and it's an important moment in the NBA because
if we get that All-Star game together, you got the in-season tournament, you got the finals tournament, world championships. So now if they can get that All-Star game together in the middle of the season, it'd be perfect.
They've got to fix the courts on that.
Yeah, the courts are.
Let's fix the courts.
No, only fix Minnesota's. Minnesota's was right.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, I think they've tempered them down. To be completely frank with you, I feel like they're much more palatable.
Why don't they just make them better?
No
matter what, they're always been an eyesore. Let's fix the state. Let's fix the courts. It's really not.
Yeah, well,
no, what do you mean by fix the court?
Make them cool. Like not like they've yet to be cool. Like they've just been.
What would be cool?
Well, I think there's a lot of ways. For one, you should let the teams design their court where it's not just like let's just do one plastered color. Like if you want to do something unique on the court, I think that matters more.
Could you find the ball though?
I think it's already hard to find the ball. Right? You saw the Minnesota. Yeah, no, so I think they just need to get rid of this like little like Easter egg kind of courts and let the courts. If you're gonna do something with the courts, make it something different than this same bright colored thing they do every year.
Yeah,
I think that could be interesting where you have the teams submit what they want to do for their court.
Sure.
And it's got obviously it's got to get through the competition. It has to get through the competition committee and pending league approval. That could be interesting. So each cup it has like the solid, like it has to have the core Denver cross in the NBA Cup branding. But outside of that, it's kind of however you want it. And then each team has their own character, reflecting their city, reflecting their team, reflecting their community. That would be interesting.
Because you could do a big deal. You could do a big deal and like you could have Off-White or you could have Tiffany come through and do like these really cool courts that you pay and they get premium pay on those things. So that's another revenue generation. Mind you, I've been reading Every Day is Sunday by it's a football book, but just the idea of owners really taking pride in what they do on their own stadiums. I think there's a lot you could do there if you're going to do those courts. Like if this is because it seems like it's no matter what, that's what they're trying to do with these courts.
Jay's, you had a point.
No, I was gonna say, number one, if they do that, they got it off of Just Nuggets Pod, and then we should, help them with the some of the
What do
players.
difference? What
The logistics of it. Yeah, I get you.
Which is
The other thing, another thing we'll see come June, and it should maybe help ratings a little bit, or at least generate some talking points online, is that I've saw that they are going to bring back the trophy, the Larry O'Brien onto the court,
Mm,
the decal onto the court for branding, and it's going to feel like
olden
the
days, yeah,
finals again.
yeah.
And so I think the NBA for and then obviously what they're doing with the All-Star game, they're doing international versus United States. So I
Oh yeah,
think
that's
the
gonna be
NBA for a little bit, obviously you got off to a poor start with the gambling.
yeah.
And then you also had your commissioner saying that it's a highlight league. So they're coming
Yeah, you
over.
know what? What that's those two things did happen, but what the game itself, the play of the game, and the fun in it, and that it's an exciting thing. It's made for TV. I know they said football's made for TV. So is basketball.
But to
Okay,
your point,
really?
to what you just said about made for TV and the
Yeah,
NFL, one of the things that folks love, especially I know we're just Nuggets of basketball podcast, but you look at the NBA, look at the NFL this season, it's an open race. There's no
right.
juggernaut right now.
No.
All 32 or 20 some odd teams, and that's millions of people, various folks from various fan bases in all these cities think that their team has a chance.
Yeah,
And I know it's early in the season,
yeah.
so everyone's record hasn't got ballooned out of shape yet.
Right.
But looking at what we just said in the Not Nuggets segment, you have six teams that could really be viable in the West. You have six teams that are viable in the East. You're approaching half your fan bases are invested. And then you have the last, what is it, the last seven? There hasn't been a repeat champion in the last 7 or 8 years. So
Right.
now it's like parity. The NBA is such a dynasty over the history of it has been so dynasty focused and it helps
Mhm.
ratings, they say, because it's like the big bad wolf.
Yeah.
You watch them climb up to the top and you're rooting for them and they get to the top and they just stay there and then the crowds flip on them. They want to see that person, they want to see them get conquered. But also, you can look at it in a different way that now you have folks tuning in because they're like, "Oh, our team in OKC is pretty, Oklahoma
Oh
City is
yeah.
pretty good," and it's like, "Oh, really?" Because our team in Minnesota is pretty good, and they're like,
Right.
"Oh, yeah, you really think so?" But Orlando, we're pretty good. Miami, we're pretty good, and it's like all these little pieces around the country, all these fan bases are tuning in. They're locked in because they actually think they can do it.
And you still have the big cities. New York has a team that they can, go with, and Boston,
The
even though
Lakers are seven
maybe
and
it's not they
three.
have injuries, but still, Indiana. So then, and then the small, mid-range, median teams came through too. So yeah, I agree with you that everybody has something. Okay,
Denver, Milwaukee. I know they have big names, but they're
yeah,
technically middle
and
markets.
this may be the last point here before we leave the butt. And I think I hate to say this because I it's not exactly right, but the refs are staying out of the game now, a little bit better than they were before.
I won't say all that.
Ah,
You haven't watched an Oklahoma City game, have
no, no,
you?
no, I
I
get
wasn't
that.
even bringing FTA
I
to
get
this. I didn't
that.
even say it. They're the best team in basketball, but it's cool because with your best player, we will know. I will no longer call him SGA. I will call him FTA for the rest of the season
Free throws,
because this dude,
distance.
he gets phantom calls now. My God,
Yeah,
like if I was coaching, but that's the thing about the NBA now. Like if you gonna actually foul people, you're gonna get thrown out the game. So
yeah.
like you can't even like actually give them like the Chuck Daly, John Thompson like era of like if we're gonna foul dude, foul him. We can't even do that no more because you just breathe on FTA and that dude's going to shoot too. So I don't
Yeah.
know what you're
No,
just
but
saying.
I
And the
think you're right.
Lakers are good too. The Lakers are good
Yeah,
too, which
Lakers.
means
There's your other
that
Western
means that the
spot.
refs are good too. They're in good standing too. So
Nah, but
I won't go completely there with you, Jays,
Now I
but
don't go with the refs
it
party.
sounded good.
Anyways, the Nuggets have a couple games coming up this week. They got the Kings on Tuesday, Clippers on Wednesday, a nice back to back. It's gonna
yeah.
be interesting how we deal with that. And then we got the Timberwolves Saturday, November 15th.
We owe them another. We got them already this year, but
Yeah, and
ATA.
we want Ant on the floor
we
this
want to
next
sit on
time
the
too.
floor. Yeah.
Hmm.
But anyways, from the Just Nuggets podcast, you can catch us all season talking Nuggets ball and shoot. Now you see we talk a little NBA ball too. We know a little something there too. Anyways, you can find us on Twitter at Just Nuggets Pod, and all our episodes are on all streaming platforms. Thank you all both for another great episode. And as always, go Nuggets.
Go
Go
Nuggets.
Nuggets. Give me my theme music.